Yeah, here we are. Let me edit this channel. We got kind of started kind of all screwed up, but we're just doing this live. Chat up here. All right. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about something a little bit different. Everything that's happening here really doesn't freak me out. Okay? None of this really freaks me out. Let me tell you why. Everything's happening over here has been happening for 2,000 years or more. Right? I'm not going to be able to fix this. Nobody can fix this situation over here. But I'm going to tell you something for just a second. Let's see if the slashers are on. I'm going to call out to, and we'll make another call here in a second. I want to call out to all slashers. We're going to call out to all slashers and all bashers for a reason. We're going to talk about that real quick. Oh, it might take us a little while to talk about it. We got time. I never thought, ever, that living where I live, and if you know where I live, you know where I live, yo. And I never thought, ever, that possibly terrorists could come to me. I've watched all the stories. 9/11, lived through it. Oklahoma bombing, Waco, World Trade Center. I was always so far away from that stuff. I was always so far away from all that stuff that it never freaking mattered. Ever. It seemed like, you know, like I said, if you live through 9/11, you're like, it's New York. Right? It's your brothers. It's our American citizens here that are getting slaughtered and all that stuff. Because of the same thing. A religious war that we cannot ever fix. Apparently people can't find me. Anyway, trying to get the slashers in here. Maybe they have something to say. I do want to say something. Once again, I'm going to go back to the fact of the matter is I never thought terrorism or the thought of the fear of terrorism would ever hit me. I mean, I live in a pretty nice area where I live. It's not the be all end all, but it's enough. And I thought, I'm safe here. I'm not. I had an incident happen last night. And I realized nobody, even if you're in freaking America, is safe. Nobody. I'm going to go into it. I can't give too much detail. Okay? I was hoping the slashers would come in here, but I don't know. Let's see. So we get Mr. Morgan, Slasher Morgan, and Slasher. I'd like to have a couple slashers in here to talk about all this, but yeah, I am. Huh. Mr. Morgan, wrong friggin' spot, bro. Let's just send an invite. It's people don't know how to find me. I mean, you know, whatever. Let's send him a deal. Apparently, like, live stuff on YouTube is not like you can't broadcast it. Like, it doesn't show up unless you're like really, you know, whatever. Let's see if Slasher Lemons will show up. Let's see if he'll get in here. Like, I don't know why I'm so difficult to freaking. Anyway, seems like I have to do freaking God to try to get people in here to watch the freaking live link. And here I am. Like, I'm just going to talk about this again. What the hell's going on in where I am? I will say I'm in the southern United States of America. Okay. I am well balanced. I would consider myself a spiritual person. And considering what's going on right now, I'm not going to put out what my, you know, all that stuff. I will say what's going on here right now is a little freaky. And I'll talk about a personal experience that I had. I'm going to step away for just a second. I'll talk about a personal experience that I had last night. We'll see if the slashers and bashers. I'm waiting on the slashers and bashers. I need an S&B. Yo, where is the S&B? And when I say slashers and bashers, I'm going to show you. It's not a bad thing. Hey, certain people in certain parts of the world can't have weapons. You can't have guns. You can't have automatic weapons unless you're part of the military. And we've seen this trying to filter down into the Second Amendment. And we don't need guns. I've always said this a long time. We don't need guns. We have custom-made melee weapons from people like Slasher Lemons and stuff like that. We have a whole plethora of 3D weapons made by me. And then, of course, if you need to exercise your Second Amendment rights, you absolutely need to. Okay? I don't advocate any kind of violence, but I will say, well, what's going on right now in the world and what's happened to me in the last 24 hours scares the effing living crap out of me. And that's what these people right here want to do. They want to interrupt your day-to-day, and that's what they've done. And once again, never ever thought that I would be interrupted. Right? I mean, yeah, well, once again, you know, war is going on, all this stuff. So I'm going to talk about my personal experience here, and I'm going to have to keep it kind of gray. I'm hoping that we'll see a little S&B in here, slashers and bashers. Maybe they'll make an appearance here in the chat room. But yeah, I'm going to step away for just a second. We'll just put the little volume up in here. Watch this for a second. I'll be right back. Custom melee weapons. I call them custom melee weapons. Mr. Slasher Lemons. So is my live stuff. It's my live stuff. Let me check my live stuff. So we gotta go. Um, all right. Yeah, here we go. All right, much better. Hold on a second. Let me get this all squared away. We had a little drop out here, so let me. All right. So what I'm talking about, where everybody's kind of getting on here. We talked about before all this crap. I do want to talk about. I'm gonna come into the frame here. I just want to talk about something for a second. Chat. Do we have to, are the slashers gonna? Hey, what's up, Mr. Morgan? Finally made it in. Look at that. Aren't you special, yo? What's up, Slasher? Slasher Morgan. Come on, yo. Yeah. We'll see if Slasher Lemons join us here in a second, right? And guess what I want to do? I had some stuff up earlier. Turn that down just a second. Really, we gotta go back to our thing here, right? So I was gonna talk about all this crap. And a little personal experience I had earlier. I really don't know. Hey man, I appreciate you coming, and you know what I'm saying? We'll just do our thing tonight. So I'm gonna tell a little story. I guess you know what? Let's look this up. You know, actually, let's look this up because this is very poignant to the point here. So let's look up. Let's go in here and search Jihad Friday, and let's watch Mr. Former Hamas talk about what he wants to do.
عبر الساحات والميادين رسالة غضب أننا مع فلسطين مع غزة.
Also urging Muslims in neighboring countries, Lebanon and Egypt, to join the fight against Israel, already a major concern for the West.
We're also worried about jihadist groups like in Syria. We have the Iran-backed Shia militia groups in Iraq, and you have all sorts of jihadist groups. That is our worst nightmare.
The massacre in Israel apparently planned for 2 years. Another Hamas leader admitting in an interview with Russia TV that under the guise of providing welfare, Hamas was actually planning for warfare.
All right. So we can listen to all, once again, we can listen to this rhetoric. I'm going to call this really simply religious rhetoric. Okay. I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to get into my personal thing here in a second. We can't fix this. Nobody can fix this. Except the man upstairs. We're going to call him Muhammad. And I don't really care what you call him. If you're a Buddhist, you call him one thing. If you're a Muhammad, a Muslim, you call one thing. And it's Christian, you call him this and that and the other. I mean, I just don't understand the have these people not graduated and realized that we're all freaking human beings? It just is really annoying. And then when it comes home to you, it's like, we're never going to get over this. Like, we're now the entire planet are infidels. The entire friggin' planet, if you're not one of those, are infidels. We're all snakes and reptiles and animals, and that's it. I mean, so there's never, man, defeatist type things. I'm gonna get off this for a second and go back to the live shot. Let's just find, we'll just find a live shot. Maybe there's something. Oh, we got rockets going off tonight. I don't know if this is live at the point, but we got rockets going off, right? So, point being, where does the personal moment come? These people, and one person, there's been a whole discussion. If you watch some other people, there's been some discussions. Are they terrorists or are they invaders? Are they occupiers? What are they? I'm going to call them agendists. Religious agendists. They don't want the freaking land. They just want to kill everybody. And they want, they want their 7 virgins. It's like we have been here before with War II, Japan. You couldn't beat them. You had to freaking drop a nuke on them because we knew we couldn't invade them because they're going to kill everybody. Now, the good thing is there's not as many of these people, so we think, as there was in Japan when, Japan had enough, right? Millions. How do you fix this? I'm scared for myself now. I'm scared not for myself, because I'm not scared for myself. I'm scared for America. What the F is happening here? I'll tell you a story. I have to keep the story kind of short and sweet. Before I tell the story, I'm going to go get me a Gatorade. Right back. Mr. Morgan, you doing all right? Right back, bro. Make sure you got your slashers around. You don't have a slasher basher, you need a slasher basher. All right. So, if you're a slasher and basher, if you are a true slasher and basher, custom made melee, maybe you're Hamas, maybe you're all that. What gives you the right to kill me? I'm not going to get into a religious discussion. If that's your freaking agenda, let's get it on, mother effer. And maybe that's what it is with them. Let's get it on. Well, and maybe that's the way it's always going to be. What scares me is what's happened here lately to me today, last night. We'll talk about that. Once again, never thought that, oh, look who's showing up now. Now we got a treat here. Welcome in, Slasher Society, yo. This is a treat. Yeah. Hey, look at that. You're absolutely right. Absolutely correct, Mr. Slasher Society. And we can't fix this, right? What are we going to do here? What am I going to freaking do? I'm going to talk about this story. I'm going to try to keep it kind of short and sweet. as best I can and not talk about too much, right? By the way, I'm gonna fix this blade. But anyway, I'll tell you about something that freaked me out today. And it probably freaked a lot of other people out, to be honest with you. Would jihad ever come to you? Now you're gonna look at me and go, probably not. Probably not. Right. Why would it come to me? Guess what? I just put that video up there not too long ago that said Dallas was one of the 7 targeted cities on the Friday Jihad, as they have requested, or the ex-Hamas person has requested. So apparently we are one of the 7 targeted cities, right? So let's put a welcome to all slashers, right? Nice to have you here. Seriously. So what was my personal experience? I will say this. I'm located in a certain city in the Southwest or South Central. And as every city does, when stuff like this happens, you have to condemn what has happened. And if you're one of the 7 targeted cities that does that, the bullseye goes down way more. So we have exponentially taken our, if you condemn, right? So I live in one of the 7 targeted cities. And there is a target on our back already, just from something that happened. How far is that away? Like 37 billion miles away? No, it's not that far, right? That'd be like Jupiter. But what is it, like 2,500 miles, something like that? Well, was it 8,000 miles, 10,000 miles? Yeah, to go to Dubai, it's like 10,000 or 14,000 miles, right? So freaking across the planet. And they still want to kill me. Like, bro. I mean, I dig that you have a whole nother God or whatever you dig on, and he wants you to fucking like what? Are these people, okay, how do I say this without being offensive? I used to watch back in the day, like Jacques Cousteau and fucking people like that, and they would go to these weird, like, there was shot in the 30s and 40s, and they would go to these weird countries in like South America and Brazil and Borneo, and there would be all these, people that have never seen other than themselves, and of course they wanted to kill them all, headhunters, whatnot. Is that what this is? I'm not understanding if this is completely religious or if it's just the culture, or is it both? Right? Are these people headhunters? I suppose they are, but they're a religious headhunter. Man. Okay. Here's my story. How did it touch me last night? So the city that I live in put out a decree to denounce all the stuff that's happened. And of course, there was a city council meeting and all that stuff, right? Well, during the city council meeting, there's certain people that are, you're absolutely correct. They target people, right? And I will say that in any big city, multiple people that are in government can be targeted. Okay. I live in a fairly predominant area in Dallas, whatever, and I will just say I could or could not have something here that could be targeted. That's all I'm gonna say. Can't go into that. And it scared me. Okay, so basically what happened was it was just random. I think it was a terror whatever. I'm going to say that Adam and Eve is out there, and then Adam is living in an apartment, and then Eve says, Hey, I'm coming with a ticking apple. This came to your door and came up with a ticking apple. Let's just click the apple. I wish I had an apple right here, like with the, I just want to click the apple, right? So I just walked up to your door and I say, I've got a ticking apple here, right? It's Eve standing out there and you're like, oh, she looks so good. Does she look good? She got a ticking something. And given what has happened lately, can't go into too many details. Let's just say that. Okay. So I'll just put that scenario out there. You can derive from yourself because people have heard the story. Other people, you're going to have to derive your own story from that. In fact, if you just look it up, it's public knowledge right now. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Where do I sit right now with the Friday Jihad? With what happened with the Adam and Eve apple? I don't know. I'm a little apprehensive when I walk out into the Garden of Eden tomorrow. I don't know really necessarily what to expect. And to be honest with you, I don't know what to expect tonight. I will say that if somebody hands me a ticking apple or hands somebody of importance that's a ticking apple, I'm feeling kissy too, man, to be honest with you. When have you eaten the forbidden fruit, Mr. Slasher Society? And when you did eat it, was it ticking? So I had to put metaphors out there. There'll be more to come later, but I can't really divulge everything. I will say that there have been people of certain importance that have come over and talked to me. And I will say I feel very safe right now. Okay. So I kind of have, if you want to call it, because of what's happened with the Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden, I have kind of a dome over the top of me, right? So I feel pretty safe. However, those people in Israel felt safe too. You know what? I really making my mouth water, bro. And I just love apples to begin with. And you know, I should go grab a banana that we had from the day, but man, caramel, I don't eat sugar anymore, whatever. But I dig it. But a delicious caramel ticking apple chip mushroom. Because if you have a caramel laden apple, it's going to be suspicious. So you just make it's an apple mushroom with the caramel, right? So, that's where you put the tripwire. Remember, I sent you the freaking tripwire thing, and that's like non-suspicious, right? So, yeah, I'm going to go back to the Garden of Eden thing. And when I say Garden of Eden, I meant that on purpose, right? I meant that on purpose. It wasn't Garden of Eden. I said that on freaking purpose because that's what it's not our even. So I hope tomorrow, as far as like, I don't know what the hell people think are going to happen. There is one guy that I do watch that here, let me put it up here. This is actually going to be interesting. Let me see if I can find this dude. So this guy watches all the doomsday planes, and he watches all the doomsday planes and sees like where they're flying around, maybe some activity or whatever. Let's see if he's up here. Let's see. He might be live. Let's see. Doomsday plane schedule. Let's see. Maybe show up. I'm going to find that video next time I come on, but he actually tracks the doomsday planes. And it's interesting to see where things are and where people are going. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting point. What am I going to do? What? I got a question. I know that all the slashers are in North area, in a certain place, certain things. Shit went crazy. Yeah, I'm going to rely on what I have here in myself. I will be calling on backup. And everybody else is too, right? I mean, I hate to think that, but once again, I go back to I'm just wigged out by the whole ticking caramel apple mushroom situation and the apple mushroom picker that came robotic with all the, well, I guess like Billy Wonka, and they put the suits on the Oompa Loompas, and they, go over to the apples and they pick them up because they're ticking, but they have to be very careful because the chocolate could explode. Okay, it's that deal. Next time I'm waiting for the camera here, man. If they show up again, you know what's gonna happen. Live. Oh, and I did order the camera, so that's cool. But what happened? Like, what happens if somebody delivers a ticking caramel apple mushroom flaked with chocolate, dripping with green, iridescent, nuclearish salt from the earth, and they held it up and said, it's ticking, and they set it at your doorstep, and then they walk off. And something bad happens. I am a little freaked out because it's kind of what happened. In a metaphor. All metaphoric, right? And what, just to be out of curiosity, what would your henchman want to look like, Mr. Slasher LM? I'm just going to call it, actually, no, I'm just going to cut to the chase here. What you want, SS? But yeah, what do you want your people to look like? All I can say is it's going to be, hopefully it will be your, yeah. Well, okay. So I'm just going to say this again. I'm going to put this out there. I'm actually going to lay it on the line. How prepared is the slasher society for anything? I'm going to think about myself, right? As Slasher Mick. How prepared for whatever is the slasher society? Or even the one-shot society. I consider myself the one-shot society. I thought about, well, how prepared I am. I realized not that much, which is effing sad. Pretty prepared, kind of, in a way. COVID came along, and you bone up, you get your, that's why I got what I got, right? When I say when I got paper clips and glue, right? I got some more. If I need my own drones, right? Yeah. You know what? Can't show too much. Q called up the other day. Q called up, and I haven't discussed Q. Slasher Q. Oh yeah. With one horn. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like Oompa Loompa, the purple killers, man. It's purple killers and low centers of gravities, and it's one horn and one eye. I mean, if you got, well, I don't know. Maybe you need like a spot. Like if you're gonna build like the ultimate, you need 8 eyes. So if like 7 of them get slashed out, you still have the one eye. I would not pick an army in one eye. I'm just saying. That's my. I'm gonna do genetics here and say we need more. I need like 30 eyes, right? So whatever. What was I saying? Oh, what happens if they come here? I got a little something. right? What I'm scared of, is the 9/11 unknown. That's what they like. And that's what they are good at. Are we better? I said to SS, I said, you're absolutely correct with prepping, right? So, well, they create emergencies we haven't seen before, right? I mean, emergencies are emergencies and you have to prep the same way, but you're correct. So they're propagating emergencies we really are not prepared for. I mean, who supposedly would fly in a freaking airplane through a building? Whatever. So how it's almost, let's be funny about this, right? Okay. In perspective, if I'm a pilot and I got freaking thousands of hours under my belt, you know, tens of thousand hours or whatever, those guys never planned to take over a freaking cockpit and do their thing. So how do you plan for the unexpected? And okay, I'm going to back out just a little bit. I'm going to back it out because that's what I do best. Okay. I'm going to talk about Skunk Works for a second. Mr. Kelly Johnson, right? If I had put that up there, I'm sure everybody knows who Kelly Johnson is. YouTube spy plane, SR-71, and multiple other airplanes. So let's talk about ahead of our time. Slashers, we need to be ahead of the time, not behind. We want to be ahead of the curve. We really want to be like, we got to be out there, man, for real. Can't be sitting behind the curve. Let's talk about Kelly Johnson. Had he waited and not expanded the envelope and gone for what you need and get it now, all over with, we'd have been drinking vodka a long time ago from the Cuba thing, right? Why are we behind the times? Well, reflection. Israel is supposed to be one of the most data informed countries in the world. They have, and for a long time, had their own securities, had their own, CIA SS, not this SS, not this SS, but the other SS, whatever. And they've been hunting down people since the late 40s and 50s, right? So I don't understand, and I think there's a lot of questions about there of the lack of what the F happened. Well, and this is why they called it their 9/11. What happened in the lack of security? What was going on with that, right? Yes, you're absolutely correct about that. And, they were trained, right? They came here. This was what's scary. Okay. I'm just going to go one step for you, Mr. SS. You're absolutely correct, right? And they don't care. Here's my disconnect with religion with them. And this is what we're getting down to here. Like, I just want to understand something. If I'm their religion, it's almost, how do I say this? I guess it gives, instead of taking away from the 10 Commandments. Like, they have I haven't read the Torah and I don't understand all that stuff, right? But apparently if you kill an infidel over there and do your thing, you're going to have 7 virgins, whatever. Totally opposite from our beliefs, right? But it's not surprising. What did Japan do and multiple others with like suicide bombings and, well, the suicide banzai, right? So it's not a surprise. It's the same thing. I will ask this. This will be an interesting question. I'm going to float another level here real quick. What kind of high, religious high, adrenaline high, some other kind of high that you can go out there and do this? Just asking. Let's be real as I'm watching rockets on this video. What kind? I go back to World War II and thinking about what was that drug that they used to give for the Blitzkrieg and all that stuff. Like, are these people truly on a religious high? Do they get up every day thinking this is their job? Well, get a I've always said that 3-letter words cures a lot. Don't get a freaking decapitation thing under your belt. Get a J-O-B. Now, I will say that I've heard that Gaza is an open air prison and all this stuff. I don't know all the details. Don't get me wrong. I am educated, but I'm stupid at the same time. Okay. But I know enough that I hear that Gaza is an open air prison and they're kind of locked in there. I want to say this. I lived through my uncle living in Iran when the Iran hostage crisis happened. Yeah, I'm old. Go F yourself. Don't care. I'm going to talk about that for a second. And it was a clusterfuck when they tried to take the hostages out. You know, it was Jimmy Carter and all the choppers burned in the freaking desert, whatever. And they didn't get anybody out. Do you think we're anybody? And then I saw a video the other day, even rescuing downed airmen since Korea has, or even since World War II, has not gotten any better. So how do these people think that they're going to get in there and extract their people? You cannot extract hostages from people that want to kill people. You know? Oh, the Mumbai. Okay, so now I remember the Mumbai. Okay, and I do remember some videos of, yeah, so are these people the Mumbai? I mean, are we? But is it okay? Let's put it in spiritual thing here. Let's just boil this down, because this is kind of where I'm at with my spirituality, my religion, my heart, and all that. I don't have to worry about, but I question motivations sometimes. Mumbai. So here, I don't know, was that original? Where was that at? Was that in New Zealand, or was that in? I forgot where that was, but so if these people have never even, they don't know how to read. They don't know how to read. Let's kiss each other, right? So it's like kissy. So if you can't read, how are you going to read the Bible and all this stuff? You know, yeah, you know, that's when the mission comes in and try to save your ass. Hey, I don't even know why the missions come in and try to save. This is why we're going through this fucking problem right now. Yeah, pretty much, man. Misery, joy, yeah. And hey, man, God bless anybody has, if this shit blows up, that anybody has kids and that stuff blows up. But I'm going to cut that off right there, because I don't even want to think about that right now. I'm going to go back to the chirping and all that. So if you've got somebody that is, if you got a culture that is not really there yet, but let's say we have a culture that is even worse than that. They're not there yet, but they also have an agenda. I mean, it's either, hey, miss, those dreadlocks look mighty fine. I'd like to shrink that little head down, SF. Can't give it. But if I, you know, but then not only that, you're an infidel, right? I mean, the dreadlocks are fine, but I'm like, I want his dreadlocks, but then he's an infidel, right? So now I have to kill you. I want to kill you and everybody else. I want to kill you. I have to wipe you out, because I just don't feel like you're a rat. I don't understand. why? Once again, I guess they call it radical. I'm a freaking radical too. Well, how can you educate some? Okay, we don't know because I've never been there. I'm not. Once again, I'm a little ignorant on all this stuff, and I'll tell you straight up, never been to this country. Always wanted to go to Israel. My uncle talked about going to Israel. I've never been there. It doesn't seem too backwoods to me. I mean, the building's not the same, right? They ain't the same, but it doesn't look like, oh, we ain't living it. I mean, some of these buildings, I guess, but I found the interesting thing is, what is the thing that they call, if you're not living in the city, you're living in the country, and it's a farming community. Kabul, what is it called? Kabul? Sorry, I'm not Jewish, or I can't speak Hebrew. So Kabul. So anyway, it's a bunch of people that move to a certain area and they farm together like a community, right? And you'll hear that in there as a lot of these people, I guess they're little towns, what we consider like maybe I've never looked at their like layouts, like that would be like us driving into like a subdivision and killing everybody, right? So I guess that's what I consider is it, but they have farms over there. So it's a farm / whatever. They don't live the same way we do. Kind of out. In the city, it's totally different. But I found out last night that a friend of mine's mom and her. Oh, so that's an interesting question. I don't have any family that's over there. I bet if I asked around, I probably might have some connections. I have not been notified of all that, right? So would that be interesting to see? Going, I guess tonight, prep-wise, for me. I'm going to go back. We need to have, this is not the discussion for this tonight, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to order another radio, the thing for Slash and Morgue over here. Next time we go to the park and do our thing and do some slash and bash and whatever, probably should get those together and do our thing, right? So we have communication. If things ever did, everybody has a handheld ham radio, do your thing, right? We'll work on that. I think you can find a channel. I didn't say this. We're not going to do anything illegal. We'll just practice, right? Because we don't have ham radio operator's license yet. But, it's for emergency purposes only, just in case. And hey, if it's emergency, and things are going to crap, I don't think anybody's going to really care. So, but people care, right? Don't cloud the crap. I get it. Gotta be by the book. I can tell you right now, if something happens tonight, by the book, ain't gonna fly. You gotta make it up as it goes. And I'm gonna say, interestingly, has anybody been watching? If you guys have not been watching, this cat right here, I sent it to Mason. But I don't know if it got to the SS, right? So I sent it to Mason, but he's like totally absent right now. But this dude right here, let's see, I got a bunch of people in my list here. Oh, look at that. He's right there. It's the 3 of 7 dude. Has anybody been watching the 3 of 7? It's called the 3 of 7 Society. They are confused and angry, but aren't we too? Once again, what gives them the right? So 3 of 7 Society. 3 of 7. This is the guy that we talked about before. Okay. Not only don't let the boot off the neck, always double, triple, exponentially tap. Okay. This guy. I haven't talked about what happens, and we talked about this, and this is pretty prevalent to the Slasher Society. I think this should become kind of a mantra for us. We discussed this before, and I will say, and I'll put the video up here. You know what? This is very simple. He's gotten a little weird. I used to love this guy, man. He became like the Canadian prepper, and he got all religious. He had a reason to get religious, but if I can find, okay, I don't know if you guys watched this. I know I sent it to you, but this dude right here.
If I tied your hands behind your back and tied your feet together and dropped you in the What would you do if I tied your hands behind your back and tied your feet together and dropped you in the deep end of a swimming pool? Welcome back to this series where we are talking about how I manage and have managed in the past stress, anxiety, and worry in my life. I've lived a pretty stressful life, man. I've done some pretty crazy stuff.
Before we go on with this,
In order to be
I'm just going to go back one more time to how all this came up and how really I'm stress mitigating tonight. I figured you would, bro. I figured you would. Okay. And this is we're just gonna think about this tonight because this is pretty important, right? Where I'm at right now, like just mitigating my stress. I don't know if you've seen this one. He does, and even more reason for the things.
I want to give you guys 3 tools.
Even more reason for the things that we talked about, and I can make fun of it. Zombieland 2 says, do cardio. You know, get out and do your cardio, bro. If you got freaking, hey, you got the zombies running after you, probably should not be, hey, fat people are consumption for the undead. And maybe the alive too, if you want to call it that. Hey, fat is all relative. You know what I've always, they'll always double tap. And hey, don't worry about that. I'm gonna tell you something. He might look at you like that. If you do the he might look at you like that. Do the fucking mission. Do the fucking mission. Don't quaver. What does it matter? What we have to do some like News for Texas bullshit here, right? What does it matter? If you're fat, you're fat. If you're out of shape, just get through the mission. If you can do the mission, what does it matter? So let's listen.
Right now, so here in just a little bit, we are going to demonstrate one of those activities for you. It's called drown proof. Yeah, we're going to tie my hands behind my back. And I'm going to jump into the deep end of a 10-foot deep swimming pool and give you a practical example of what it looks like to manage and mitigate stress. Now, I want to give you guys 3 tools right now. The top 3 tools that they taught us in a course called Pre-Buds. You guys, if you've watched the channel, you've heard me talking about Pre-Buds. There were 3 things they taught us in order to prepare us to manage the stress that we were about to encounter when we got to Buds. I have continued to use these 3 things in my life. Probably, it's safe to say, on a daily basis to help me get through whatever challenges I'm being faced with in the day, all right? They're 3 really simple things. I thought they were freaking corny at first until we started doing things like drown proofing and 50-meter underwater swim and all the crazy evolutions that we did in Buds. And these 3 things actually are what allowed me to get through them and stay calm and actually perform the way I needed to perform. I want to talk about the first one real quick. The first one is, let's start with positive self-talk, all right? So we actually went to a classroom every day in Pre-Buds and we practiced these things. We learned about these things. Positive self-talk, that means we are aware of the conversation that's going on.
I'm just going to go forward a little bit in this because you can watch this on your own. I'm just going to get to where he actually goes in the pool. I mean, basically, he's talking about 3 things for your self-survival. Number one, self-talk. Okay? Self-talk. Sling 'em and ding. I like that. Sling 'em and ding 'em. I like that. Self-talk. Certain people have been on stage here, and when shit goes wrong, certain times too much self-talk is a bad thing. Over talking and overthinking yourself is a bad thing. Okay? I will say I have a propensity nowadays, only because, well, just like last night when the ticking caramel apple mushroom happened. What I've learned and what he's talking about is if things go crazy, gotta slow down the talk in your head. And the other thing he's going to talk about, I'm just going to go to his drowning thing and just watch the video. The other thing he talks about is when you're preparing yourself to do that, and you know, whatever, when it actually occurs, you actually have to slow down more. You actually have to not, I don't know. It's not, I can only approach it like this. If you go through an emergency, I've been through a lot of them. I've been through almost like, I can only imagine how an EMT or all these other people respond to it. But like if you're you become numb, you know? So when you go through some like crap like this, or you're on stage and some crap pedal and you don't hit it right, don't worry about it. Just keep going. It's better to keep going than drown, bro. For real. I found that hasn't been a failure, but it's been a slight malfunction over the years, and we all should not let it happen again. Just in all aspects, right? What he's talking about here. So, the other thing he's talking about is when you actually do get dunked, now you got to slow down even more. Let's go to where he actually gets dunked in this thing. He actually gets tied up. Where's it at? Very end here. All right, he's sitting on the edge. All right, this video is hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie. It's like if you were to put me in this situation and you tie my hands. Of course, I don't have a beard. Like, hey, people that have dreadlocks and stuff like that, and weighted down facial hair and stuff like that. God bless them, man. I don't know how much weight that. Well, in the water, it's not going to add that much. But hey, when you come to the surface, shit's weighing you down. So let's see what he talks about, right? Interesting.
Essentially to show you how these techniques work, breathing techniques. So before I jump in, I'm going to do a couple of rounds and get my breath under control. I'm going to visualize what I'm going to do when I enter the water, and I'm also going to.
Okay, so that was the one interesting thing that he said there. So one thing I didn't, when things start happening, sometimes you don't always have a prerequisite of what you're going to think about, right? This is obviously, for him, is like a pre-set up thing. Training. The reason why we should go in training like this, or even something like this, is because you can't prepare for what it is or could be. And even this training in certain areas could be even way more intense. This is pretty freaking intense training. I can't say that I would want to be drowned in a pool. I can't say that I wouldn't want to be either. As long as I had somebody that could train me like this. When crap like the ticking apple, caramel, mushroom things happen, you just slow down a little bit more. That's if jihad, as people want, happen on Friday, which who knows what, I mean, Friday is already here and I haven't heard anything yet. But I don't know. It's could be stuff happening out there that I don't know about. Maybe. So what I'm going to do for this weekend, since it seems to be a little hot weekend, I am going to pull out my DPD radio and just kind of listen to frequencies. Anything that would happen over here probably just because of the dome that lives over here, it probably wouldn't be broadcast. But if shit actually went down, it clings to the pockets of nitrogen nodules. No, you're right. Oh, does it really? So what you're saying is if you could like scuba dive with your own dreadlocks, I'm just, hey, if it was wax enough, it's possible because you know you could because it's burnt, right? Okay. Question: has there ever been James Bond? I've never seen a James Bond movie where like he killed a dude with dreadlocks underwater and like broke his and you know doing the thing, but it's possible. Hey, I don't know, but we should investigate that. You're gonna have to, you know what, grow your hair a little bit more. We're gonna hey, oh well, here we go. Okay, I got you right here. Who's gonna hand what slasher? Oh, I know how this is gonna work. What slasher? You know what the question is coming. What slasher is gonna have his hands and feet tied behind his back with? I thought, to be honest with you, Mason and Mr. SS, if you can do that to me, I'm gonna cut one whole dreadlock off to breathe from. Okay, if that is the case, ponder that. Can you survive? Can you survive underwater with your hands and your feet tied behind your back going through a panic situation, but have a breathing apparatus called scuba dread? It could be possible. It wouldn't taste pretty. Aqualock. It wouldn't taste pretty. Well, you know, certain people have to take care of their hair certain different ways, but I don't know. We'll have to investigate that phenomena later. Can you survive? The question would be, if an insurgent comes in and he's got dreadlocks and you and he fall in the deep waters together trying to kill each other, and y'all fall to the deep and you stab him with, you know, you're falling into the depths of the pool and you're on top and somebody stabs you and you're, for whatever reason, you can't get back to the top. It's like 100 feet. Can you grab his terroristic aqualock dreadlocks, you know, and get back up to the surface? Because you know, if you start falling like 100 feet, you're gonna get you have to slowly ascend. You're gonna get the bends. Remember your training, young Padawan, right? You got an aqualock, but you got to do it slowly, right? So as the terraces, y'all are going down and you're doing the whole like Matrix thing, you know, right? Stab you. Actually, I'm going to do better than that. But then I'm so worn out, it's probably going to land on top of me. And then I have to instead of cutting your head off, because you're not a crawfish, I'm not going to suck your head. I'm sorry. I'm not going to suck either head, to be honest with you. But especially, I'm not going to suck anybody's head to get oxygen. Can't believe I said that, but it's fine. Okay. But I might suck an AquaSafe drowning lock just for emergencies, just for a wee bit of emergency situation going on here. Okay. Hey, you got to do what you got. People have done worse to survive. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Right. So falling down together, get down together, you stab them. And then you're so far down, you got to slowly rise. So you just cut his dreadlock off, his insurgent terrorist dreadlock off. And then you just grab one end of it. I guess bite it. Bite it? Or what do you, like cigar it? What do you do with it? You know what I'm talking about? All right, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Like, you can't scientifically superimpose yourself into a scenario like this. This is where we go back to how the hell do we know what the F we're getting into? Okay. I will say to the Slasher Society, if there is scheduled stuff going on. Be more vigilant. When the hell don't you have a knife? Pretty like I can't imagine that SS probably doesn't have a knife like when he's taking a dump. I don't know. Just saying. But if people are going out tomorrow, in the shower, you know, like when you're taking a shower. I mean, I don't carry a blade with me. Oh, well, you know what? Actually, I've been thinking about buying a straight razor. I'm bored with 5-bladed razors. I really am bored. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird, man. 5-bladed razors. Although they are, and certain people are like, what the F is a razor, yo? I got dreadlocks. I got, you know. I gotta shave my ticking apples occasionally. I've never seen, kind of weirdly, has anybody ever seen, just out of curious, you're dumping? Yes. I just saw that. I was like, what the hell is that? Yes. Okay. I'm going to request something. From the, I'm going to request something from SS now. I'm going to request something. ×3. All SS-itish people should have a dump knife. I would agree. I would agree that should be a, I don't know, where do you put it though? Oh, just on top of that toilet. You know what? You have to, okay, dump knife. So dump knife has to have something inside that you can read, right? So figure out how to make a dump knife, and I don't know, like when I go in there, I'm gonna have to read something and then play with the knife, right? Like, yes, absolutely. Everybody should have, because, okay, here's a question. How many people that were slaughtered in Israel were taking a dump? I'm sure somebody knows. Somebody's keeping track. Just asking. So, does everybody need a dump knife? I want a big one, mother effer. You're going to make me one. I want. Hey, it's either that. If I don't get a dump knife, I got to dump back. All right. So, hey, or a dump site. I don't care what you better. Hey, and now it's leading me to believe, because I don't have a safe room. I don't have a safe room. I'm not Israel and have like a house where I have, 5,000 concrete foot walls. So this is my mother effing safe room. And to be honest with you, Slasher Society, look, shit goes down. That's the way it always is. I know you guys are my backup. But there is no backup, and I am the backup. So I'm gonna watch. Probably gonna end the stream tonight. I might actually go take a walk out there. I feel like I want to, or at least peek my head outside. I will say that's a little bit challenging. I probably won't for certain reasons. I might not even do that, and I'll tell you why. It's almost like curfew around here right now. And for certain, how do I say? No, I don't know, but let's hold on. There's detail here. I've got certain, I don't have papers here right now. And the fact of the matter is, I don't want to be caught out with a certain aroma. Okay, listen. If you're detail walking around here, man, you can smell things coming back and forth, right? I might do that. I might walk down and take the trash out. You know what? That's what I might do. I might just take the trash out, right? That's a good. I'll just take the trash out and just take a look. See. Wish I had my phone going on. I'd take you with me, but I don't have my phone going right now. I'm doing it on the webcam thing. Next time I will. I do have the phone ready to rock and roll just in case something does happen. I can grab it, start going live with that. But I think I'm gonna go take the trash out and just just take a look. See, right? I really want to see how deep the detail is. I'm guessing. What would a detail look like? It's always two people, and actually one of them is female. Okay, just gonna say that right there. And but what does that look like? What is, if you were putting a detail for a high, not somebody that is like the president, but let's say they're pretty high up there, like what kind of armor, weapons, communication equipment, what would they be carrying, right? What would a special detail? I mean, we already know sidearms, right? We already know probably several sidearms, to be honest with you, and clips and all that stuff, because I've already seen some of it, and they don't print at all. Oh yeah. We'll just roll him right here and just talk about it, right? So we'll just let him roll. It's kind of funny. We'll just you can watch this video on your own, but it's funny when he goes in the pool, man. Kind of bobs a little bit, but so here we go, right? So hey, let's just we'll listen to this for a second. Oh, cool.
So right now I am thinking about my breath. As I go drop in the water, I know I have to exhale completely in order to get to the bottom of that pool. I'm really thinking about staying in touch with my breath. And once my feet make contact with the bottom of the pool, I'm thinking about how much pressure do I need to exert in order to get back to the surface and get my head far enough above the top of the water.
So how deep is that pool? That looks like about a.
I don't want to kick off the bottom of the pool too hard.
That's a what? He's 6 foot tall, so that's a 8 or 10 foot pool, right? Maybe a 12. I don't know. That's freaky, man. Like, and he's just got a bounce. What happens if it's deeper? I mean, shallower, you're cool, but what happens? So I don't know. Yeah, kind of figured that.
I have to stay calm. All right. No other choice but to
Stay calm in this situation. So there's the practical application of the three things that we just talked about: visualization, positive self-talk, and taking control of our breath. Drown proofing is a great.
So what I find funny about all that is, what does it matter if it's drown proofing? What does it matter if it's drown proofing? What if we're not drown proofing training like this, but we take these techniques out and just use those techniques for every day, right? If you have to go through freaking drown proofing, yeah, obviously you're going to be a better person, right? So that's kind of what I think it was just kind of like, it's kind of like the Apollo mission. I think it was really like a kiddie pool, but you can do your own adjustments. 9, 8.7, 7.2. Once again, I think it's kind of like the Apollo mission, and it was a kiddie pool. Bear Grylls type of thing. But I could be wrong about that. I wasn't there. I didn't see Bigfoot dive outside the pool and do his thing, right? But it's impressive. Is it not? Wait. Yeah, it's slightly impressive. Okay. Is he Bear Grylls and all this other stuff? I don't know. You know, his record, but it's pretty good. I don't. The videos that he did before were really cool because it's kind of motivating. Now he's gone all kind of crazy and gone into religious videos, and I'm like, yo, man, you know, you're not really like, I'm not digging it, you know.
Don't go and talk.
Let's see, is there anything live tonight? Let's look at. It's the same old crap. See, go in here and it's the same old videos. There's actually, let's see, I'm gonna go. Is there any actually thing live happening right now? I doubt it. All the way down for the live stuff, right? So we go in here. What's happening live right now? There's Agenda-free TV, which usually sucks. Oh, this guy's not too bad.
Guys, we have a new statement from Hamas. A new statement from Hamas.
This guy's actually live right now. It's
About the order, the
3:16 a.m. He actually
evacuation
is live, and he's actually
order,
one
I
of the
guess, that
better,
Israel gave.
one of the better live streamers. He's actually really up on stuff.
Hamas came out with this statement. Hang on a moment, guys. Give me one moment here. On their Telegram, they came out with it. Give me one sec here. They say
Yeah, so once again, this guy he's got how many people? He's got 322,000 subscribers. His channel did not start till he started doing this. Okay, his channel, like literally, I wish I could see his analytics. His channel started, and the reason why he has 322,000 is because he just started 4 days ago, and he's covering the shit. He has live cam. He has gathered all the. I don't know where he's getting all these fucking feeds from. He's gathering all these feeds plus all the new stuff. He's got this little banner. He has moderators in his chat channel. If you look at the chat down there, this guy is probably, if you want to stay up to date, really like real time, all the time, is probably the real guy to watch if you're really into it, because it's like, it seriously is. Well, what time is this? He's real. He's real. You know. Yeah, man. I'm fixing to blaze out, my friend. Probably. I'm actually going to probably go take the trash out. Slasher Morgue. We will catch you another time. And stay vigilant, locked, racked, and ready to rock and roll if you can. I might tomorrow. I'm not supposed to. And Slasher L, I'm probably gonna, like I said, I'm probably gonna fucking cut the plug on this thing, man. I gotta do my thing tomorrow. Way pleasure having the Slasher Society here right now, talking about all this stuff that's going on, yo. Appreciate that. Brothers, slashing. You better keep on. Well, don't slash the camera. Right? Don't slash the camera till you're ready to. Keep slashing. Keep bashing. If you got to bash the camera, bash the camera. I'm going to bash the camera. I got to get out of here. Yo, bye.